Need help?
Menino, who shared 4 words that changed my life. I was a law student, interning at City Hall, sitting with him in the office I never imagined I'd one day work from. When I asked him what I could do to best help people in Boston, and he said, "Go see Frank Chin." Now, standing here and looking at such a big crowd here today, I can already hear Uncle Frank's voice in my head from every event when people would be gathering together for a picture and we'd all be gesturing to him to come up, come get in the picture, come get in the front, come be in the middle. And he would just shake his head saying, "No, no." If he had his way today, he'd tell us not to spend so much time talking about him. But the sidewalk by the corner of Oxford and Beach Streets needs fixing, and there's construction taking up parking on Hudson Street. If it were up to him, with so many people here today, we just focus on the community's needs. But right now, this is also what the community needs. A space to remember a legend we are so lucky to have known and loved. A devoted husband, father, and grandfather, and yes, uncle and granduncle. A cherished hero and mentor. Army veteran, longtime public servant. A man who is family to all of us. To Uncle Frank's family, Mark and Melba, Connor, Lindsay, and Zoe, beloved. To Auntie Amy, to Rose, and Auntie Joe, the entire Chin family. The city of Boston is with you in immeasurable grief and gratitude for all that your family has done to shape our lives. I have to admit, I wasn't sure what.
We lost our anchor in the Chinatown community earlier this month. This past week, we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the Gihao Tin Association and of CCDA. And through all the lion dances and the jellyfish appetizers, my favorite, many of us had mixed emotions of the evening. On both occasions, the absence of our anchor was certainly felt as Mayor Wu led us in a moment of silence in honor of Uncle Frank. I think Mayor Wu commented it was the first time anyone had ever heard silence actually at a Gihao Tin banquet. But underneath that sadness was a realization of how many lives Uncle Frank had directly impacted just in that room in Empire Garden alone. And that these organizations that we were celebrating, how their strength in the community was a result of him, Auntie Kay, Uncle Billy, and the entire Chin family. I want to thank the Chin family, not only for the honor of speaking here today, but for letting Uncle Frank be part of all of our families. Public service is not an individual sport, whether you're elected or not. Uncle Frank's public service began at a young age, first by being drafted into the U.S. Army during the Korean War. Once he returned, he began a 7-decade journey of service directly to his neighborhood and his people. He, Billy, Auntie Amy, quickly realized that the way to get things done for Chinatown was to organize from the ground up and make sure the politicians had no choice but to pay attention and take notice to the growing Chinese community in Boston and beyond.
On behalf of the government and people of the Republic of China, Taiwan, I would like to extend my heartfelt condolence and the deepest sympathy to all the members of the Chin family. My grandfather was a really humble guy, and so he probably would have hated the idea of everyone coming up here to talk about his achievements and his tremendous character. But I grew up watching him give a lot of speeches, and in those speeches he never talked about what he did or why he was getting those awards. He only ever mentioned, how lucky he was to know so many people and just how appreciative he was for their friendship. I think that's just who he was. He was someone that didn't do things to take credit. He did them because he cared and because he loved people deeply. The same love for people that he expressed so often to me, my sisters, my mom and dad, my grandmother, Auntie Kay, and to his own siblings as well. To me, he was the greatest grandfather I could have asked for. Now, what does it mean to be a great grandfather? I think it comes down to two main things: setting a great example for your grandkids, but also just acting as a close friend, and my grandfather was definitely both of those things. He didn't give me too much advice directly, but I think I learned most of what I know about how to treat other people from watching him. We'd walk around Chinatown, and people would always come up to talk to him, and no matter who it was, he would listen to them respectfully and give them his full attention. And even at that young age, I could definitely tell how much he cared about Chinatown and people, and he showed me that it's possible to devote yourself to something with no self-interest and expecting nothing in return. So, it's obviously a great role model, but my grandfather's also just a really cool guy.
And then while we were in Bermuda, we stayed at this holiday inn hotel. And then every day we went out for sightseeing and so on. So one day in the morning, Uncle Frank saw a notice something about what's going to happen in the evening in the dining room. And he says that there's going to be a steel band playing that evening. So Uncle Frank, being a cool guy, went to the Mission in the morning and said, I want to get the best table so that we can watch the performance. So he gave the fellow $25. In those days, $25 is a lot of money. But anyway, so we went out, we came back, and we went into the dining room, my wife, Lauren, and so on, and Auntie Kay, and of course Mark. Guess what? In the huge dining room, we are the only table.
Public speaking. But just begin here. So, on behalf of my family, I want to thank all of you for the support that you've given us since my father's passing. I'm touched and humbled by the generosity of the mayor's office and the many members of GHO and latest president Ellen Paul and our good friend Nancy Lowe. Their thoughtfulness and consideration really helped us through this difficult time. Also, thank you to you, Mayor Moon, Representative Woods, and Director Gal for your kind words today. I wanted to talk about, the man I knew and my dad. There's so many things I wanted to say. lived a life with purpose. And today I'm thankful that in his life, he was able to fulfill that purpose so completely. Whether it was registering voters to give a loud voice to his community, or encouraging enrollment and recruitment of more agents to the law school schools, or raising his own family. I know he felt great satisfaction when looking back at all he had accomplished. But even he knew he couldn't have done it all by himself. Today, I'm so grateful for all of you here today, and the many